Hot potatoes, it's already December 30th. Today's journey takes us from the camaraderie of shared experiences through the fiery events of the War of 1812 and into the electrifying rise of one of rock's greatest bands, Led Zeppelin, with resilience, creativity, and history in the making being theme of the day. Alrighty, let's discover some of the moments that make this date unforgettable. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for December 30th. December 30th is the 364th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 365th in leap years, with one day remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is camaraderie. Camaraderie is a noun that means a spirit of friendly good fellowship and mutual trust and friendship among people who spend a lot of time together. Example sentences might include, the camaraderie among the team members was evident as they worked tirelessly to meet the project deadline, or after years in the military, he missed the camaraderie he shared with his fellow soldiers, or the book club thrived on the camaraderie of its members who bonded over their love of literature. The word camaraderie comes to us through French, Latin before that. First documented use of the word camaraderie in English is in the 1840s. Camaraderie. Today's word camaraderie was requested by YouTube viewer Lisa Taylor. Thanks, Lisa. And if you have a word you'd like us to examine in this Word of the Day segment, drop it in the comments. We'll take a look. And with that, the War of 1812, sometimes called America's Second War of Independence, was fought between the United States and Great Britain from 1812 to 1815. Several factors led to this conflict. For example, trade restrictions. Britain wanted to block American trade with France, with whom they were at war. This infringed on U.S. maritime rights. Another factor was the British Navy's practice of seizing American sailors and forcing them into service, and this angered many in the U.S. Some Americans eyed British-held Canada as a target for expansion and were hoping to annex it. And of course, there being some conflict among the American settlers and the Native Americans, this gave Britain a motive to back Native American tribes who resisted U.S. expansion into the Northwest Territory, further escalating tensions. The war saw notable events like today's, wherein the Battle of Buffalo, also known as the Battle of Black Rock, took place on December 30th, 1813, during the War of 1812. This engagement was largely a British retaliation for the American burning of the Canadian village of Newark, present-day Niagara-on-the-Lake, earlier in the month. British forces crossed the Niagara River and advanced on the villages of Buffalo and Black Rock in New York. Can you imagine a time when the city of Buffalo, New York, was but a village? But there it was, and the British troops were outnumbered, but they overcame the American militia defenders on this one and proceeded to burn Buffalo and Black Rock, destroying numerous buildings and several ships in the process. The War of 1812 would continue into the next year with the burning of Washington, D.C. by British forces and the successful defense of Fort McHenry, which inspired the United States national anthem. The conflict began to wind down with the Treaty of Ghent in 1814, which restored pre-war boundaries, but resolved few of the other issues that had sparked the war. Even so, the war fostered a sense of national pride and identity in the young United States. Within a year, they'd be big. Within 2, they'd be huge. And within 3, they'd be the biggest band in the world. But on December 30th, 1968, the quartet of British rockers preparing for their 5th ever gig in the United States were using propane heaters to keep themselves and their equipment warm while they waited to go on as the opening act for Vanilla Fudge at a concert in a frigid college gymnasium in Washington State. We're talking about Led Zeppelin, and someone had a tape recorder with them that night, providing the first known recording of Led Zeppelin. So, of course, we have to talk today about a Led Zeppelin song, and what a choice to make. They recorded nearly 100 songs between 1968 and 1980. They pioneered the concept of album-oriented rock, often refusing to release songs as singles. Scanning the list of songs, Bring It On Home caught my attention. Bring It On Home is a blues song written by Willie Dixon sometime in the early 60s, or maybe earlier. Sonny Boy Williamson recorded it in 1963, but it wasn't released until 1966. Led Zeppelin released a version of Bring It On Home on the band's second album, Led Zeppelin II, where the intro and outro are an homage to Sonny Boy Williamson's version, but the rest of the track is an original composition by Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, and oh boy, is it a rocker. Interestingly, since the song was written by Willie Dixon and he hadn't been approached for permission, a copyright claim followed, but all parties settled their differences with an undisclosed cash settlement. Bring It On Home by Led Zeppelin. Of course, there's a link in the description to Led Zeppelin's version, and I also found a link to the version by Sonny Boy Williamson, the one that inspired Led Zeppelin's version. And that's a wrap for this day in history for December 30th. From the camaraderie that binds us in friendship to the fierce battles of the War of 1812 and the unforgettable legacy of Led Zeppelin, today's stories remind us of the many ways history resonates in our lives. Whether it's a word that connects us, a conflict that shaped nations, or music that moves generations, these moments offer us a chance to reflect, learn, and celebrate. Until next time, take care, and may the spirit of camaraderie brighten your day.